What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man, and I am happy to be back again. We are here with episode two. A great friend of mine, Michael Granum. Say what's up, Michael.
What's going on, Wilson?
That's it. Good vibes only today on this podcast. Good vibes
Yes,
only. Shout out
yes.
to you. So, if you haven't listened to episode one with Michael, I would definitely go back and listen to it. It was an awesome one. Just a recap, though, of what we talked about was obviously loss. Unfortunately, Michael lost his mom at an early age, and it was something that obviously, with anybody, most likely will have to deal with certain things and figure out a way to get out of that. The important message there was definitely taking time to mourning, right? Like not stuffing it away because at some point you're going to have to anyway, right? I think that was important. What you said about teaching your young kids about how to treat a lady, how to date a woman, I think that was some great tips of advice. I'm not going to give it out to this one because we want listeners to listen to the first one too. So, a really really good, insightful podcast. So I appreciate you for that. And I appreciate you for coming back. On this one, I want to focus a little bit about the change. So we'll give them a little backstory of what it was. Um, Michael, you basically woke up one night and you were like on top of your wife. And again, this was coming from things that you were working through emotionally, emotionally that then led to these night during the nighttime. Is that what it was? Like where you were sleeping and then you were dreaming and you were just kind of were you sleepwalking? Is that what it was, or is it just more of
I refer to them as like night terrors. If you look up the definition of night terrors, it's
Mhm.
exactly what I was going through. So I would hallucinate like dark, shadowy figures. I even hallucinated like these big bugs, like literally like bugs this big,
That's crazy.
uh, and frightening, very frightening. And so, um, like I said, a couple times I got into battles, fights with these dark, shadowy figures. One time I was actually paralyzed, and this dark, shadowy figure was like over top of me. But like you said, the final straw was my wife started screaming. I found the light, turned the light on, and I ended up I was standing on the bed, standing on top of not on her, but like over like
Over
strapped.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Whoa.
that scared me because my wife is very small, and I at that point I was 306. I was like almost four times bigger than her.
Right.
I would have fell on her. Just falling on her alone would have broke something.
Damn, that's crazy. That's gotta be scary too, right? Obviously for wifey, like sleeping and then waking up and you're just hovering over her, not
Yeah,
even knowing what the hell is going on. That's crazy.
yeah.
So I know. So again, for the viewers, we're going to talk about our influence, our thought, emotion, action, decision. In that moment, I that was the one moment where you're like, okay, I need to make a difference. I need to make a change. Going back in terms of understanding, there was something that you need to work through. I know you've spoken to the pastor. You know that there was something emotional there. Some of it was coming from the mourning, the loss. Is that correct?
Like if my mom,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't say no. It's just because by then, like, I mean, when my mom passed was 14.
Yeah.
Like, I mourned my mom, but then one of the ways I coped with it after the mourning was to fill that void with food,
Got it.
which caused years and years of buildup of
Compound. Yeah.
compound, just basically turning to food as an emotional filler.
And that
Uh,
just became your automatic reaction, really.
you get angry, you eat. You
Mm.
happy, you eat. Sad about something, depressed about something, you eat. And so ballooned to 360 pounds by the time I was in my late 40s.
Hmm. So take me through then the emotional ride, and then take us through like the actual journey, losing the 100 pounds, and then where you're at now, and obviously in terms of how you help other people.
Yeah. So when I met the couple at the networking event and realized I was friends with them on Facebook, they were helping people lose weight. Zach and Emily Shapiro. I'm not sure if you met them before,
Shout
but
out to those guys. Yeah.
they're now in Salt Lake City, Utah. But I walked right up to him, introduced myself to him, and I said, "Hey, listen, honestly, I don't know why I'm talking to you. I know you guys help people lose weight, so I'm assuming that's why I'm talking to you." So I talked to him for like 15 minutes, and the only thing I remember from that conversation is Zach said, "Are you ready for your life to change?" So it felt like a God moment
Mm.
in my life, tapping me on the shoulder, saying, "Okay, this is it." And got started on an Herbalife nutrition program. Many people are familiar with Herbalife, been around since 1980, very big in the nutrition world, but got started, ended up doing exactly everything he told me to do, which was basically Uh, we focus on protein shakes, protein, vitamin, and mineral shakes. From my case, it helped me. I love the taste of it, love the consistency of it, the different flavors. But I was able to do like a shake for breakfast, shake for lunch, shake at night before I went to bed. I'd eat a healthy dinner, had a couple healthy snacks. At the time, I just started going to the I started going to the gym before I met them, and I didn't really like the idea of going to a gym and nobody talks to each other. Everybody's focused on their gym routine.
Yeah.
When I started working with him, my first week I lost like 11 pounds. I was ecstatic, man. I had struggled with my weight, like I mentioned, from the time I was 14 to 18 is when I started getting bigger. But I had struggled with my weight. I had lost, I think 30 pounds was the most I ever lost at one time, and that took like 6 months. And working with him, the first week I lost like 10, 11 pounds. So I was ecstatic. I was beside.
Nice.
And so I started meeting up with him. He asked me, he said, what else am I doing? I said, I started going to the gym. He said, how do you like that? I'm like, I really don't. I don't like the fact that I can't carry a conversation with someone. Everybody's kind of depressed, looking down. It's got their hoodie up. And he said, what would you think about meeting up with me every morning at 5:36 and we'll walk the Flagler Bridge? I said, let's do it. Now, the one thing that when I make a decision, I'm pretty maniacal. And I don't think he thought that I would actually meet up with him 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning, but I did. We started late 2017, and this was October, November. We started walking every morning, and we meet up at the apartment condos right before the Flagler Bridge there, and we meet up every morning and we walk across the bridge, tap the light pole, turn around and come back. It was like 2.3 miles, something like that. And at first it was hard. I'm 360 pounds trying to take my butt up the top of this
Yeah.
and across.
Yeah.
If you've never done that before, like, if you've never done it, like, what I'm talking about, like, or once you do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But after a while, first it was just me and him walking. And then I'd show up every morning knocking on his door, and he's like, oh, okay, you're here again. But we did that for 120 days, Wilson. 120
Damn.
days in a row. We did it on Thanksgiving morning. We did it on Christmas morning, Christmas Eve morning, New Year's Eve morning, New Year's Day morning. 120 days in a row. And during that period of time, we started off. It was just me and him walking, and every morning we take a picture, a selfie of each other, and we put a positive quote to it, and then we just share it on social media. And don't you know, probably within, I would say, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, I think we got up to like 15 people joining us.
That's crazy.
They
That's
wanted to
awesome.
be part of what we were doing. But during that period, fast forward, I ended up losing 100 pounds. Felt phenomenal. I felt like I had a new lease on life, that I could do anything. I was like Superman. I wasn't taking any kind of medication. I wasn't taking any medication before I had started my journey, but I probably should have been. I
Mhm.
probably should have been on some type of medicine for probably diabetes, pre-diabetes, or something like that. But I felt phenomenal. I had amazing energy, and we started working out at Town Center. At that point, we started pulling people together, and we did free workouts over there at Town Center, and we had a great time. And just focusing on the community. This is all before we had the nutrition clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's just I look back, and I didn't drink. I mean, I never drank a lot to begin with. I would maybe on date night I would have one or two, maybe three beers. But during that 6 month, I was hardcore. I didn't do any drinking, because any type of alcohol is going to make your body inflamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Body inflamed, you store water, store excess weight, or water and weight. But so I did that, and I did exactly what he said to do, and dropped that I had enrolled into a challenge at that time. It was like I think a 60-day challenge that I enrolled into. I ended up being number one, took $500 home, so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I started having, during that period of time, I started having people reach out to me, congratulating me. I posted my pictures, but I never post them to brag. I post them because I was so excited I wanted to inspire other people to make that change, to make the decision. And a lot of people reach out to me, and that's kind of how I started. I just started randomly helping people. I never pretended to be a fitness guru, never pretended to be some nutrition guru or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's because I was excited. I was just excited about a new lease on life, and people fed off that excitement. Like I kind of finally felt like the first time in my life I was doing exactly what God created me to do.
Hmm.
Up to that point, I had done a lot of different things. I was in the financial industry, I was in the food service industry management, I was in the automotive industry, and I was really good, Wilson,
Yeah.
really good at everything I ever did. One, because I'm a people person, and I would always apply those people skills to my job, and I excelled at those jobs. But even though, and this is kind of a lesson or a point, is that no matter what you're good at, even if you're good at something, it doesn't mean that that's what the universe has called you to do or God has called you to do. There's something down inside of each and every one of us that we were created to do and be that. And I think a lot of times when people are working and are frustrated is because they may be really good at what they're doing, but still not what the God or universe has called them to be or do.
Right.
So
Yeah, or they're really bad at what they're doing. They still haven't found out what they should be doing. Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I agree. And it's funny, like the more you share the story and think about where you are right now in your situation perspective, the time frame of life, it's incredible that you are where you are and what you're doing with other people. So yeah, it's big kudos to you, man. Honestly, like it's great to hear. So take me through, I guess the 100 pounds, like, did you lose it throughout that? How long did it take you again?
exactly 6 months.
6 months. And so throughout the walking, the 120 days, basically, right? It's almost the 120 days. So, did you go through outside of feeling ecstatic and like you do were there any other emotions or of maybe like, man, how do I keep going? Or were you just sort of on this high because you kept losing weight or, what was that like emotionally, the ride?
So when I look back, and this is why it's so important, whether it's in your job, in your business, in your in your any part of life, having a goal, right?
Hmm.
So when I lost that first 11 pounds, and in fact, I ended up losing 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Okay.
Wow.
30 pounds, 6 weeks. I look at Zach, my coach, and I said, listen, I think I can lose 100 pounds in 6 months. I really do. And so that became my obsession.
Kimmy Driver.
I knew, remember when I said about you got to replace that
One.
addiction with another addiction?
Yep.
And that's what I did. I became obsessive. And you have to be like, if you have a goal, you got to become obsessive about that goal, right?
Mm.
And I became obsessive about making sure that I would hit the 100 pounds in the 6 months was not an accident. It wasn't like all of a sudden, oh yeah, I hit 100 pounds 6 months. No, it was a goal. After I figured out I could lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks, I calculated the numbers. I could lose 100 pounds in 6 months. And so I took the end, backed it up with goals leading up to that, stuck exactly to my nutrition program, didn't deviate at all, stuck to my workout program, worked on my mindset,
Mm.
all the things that we're supposed to do anyway for any other goal, right?
Right, right.
And that was why and how I hit my 100 pounds. And so the emotions along the way, it didn't matter if I didn't feel like doing it. It didn't matter if I got depressed. It didn't matter if I was mad because maybe one day my weight went up 2 pounds and I was expecting to be going down. It didn't matter because the goal, the end result was 100 pounds in 6 months. It wasn't 100 pounds by tomorrow.
Mm,
It was
mm.
100 pounds in 6 months. So biting it off bit by bit through that 6 month period of time. In fact, the night before it was going to be my official 100 pounds down, I think I had like 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds more to go. And
Wow.
remember, the addiction of food, I focused on being obsessive addiction to something else. I got my butt up and I ended up walking around my neighborhood. I think I walked for 3 or 4 hours. I think I started walking like 9 o'clock at night, and I don't think I finished till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
I mean, I won't lie. I mean, I think I even took a bath with Epsom salt to pull, some water out of my body.
Yeah.
But I remember I woke up the next morning, Wilson, my son, I'll never forget. He was in the living room. I weigh myself. Of course, I'm butt naked when I'm weighing myself,
Of
right?
course.
I, I actually videotaped it because I thought I would be pretty close, right? I started screaming. My son like freaked out, wanted to know what the heck was going on. Luckily, he didn't come running in the bathroom or anything. But I videotaped it, and I was so excited. But I went back and watched the videotape, and because of my scale, it had like this glare, like the reflection,
Yeah.
like see my junk and everything. So I couldn't share. I couldn't share that.
uh,
But
you share it next time, share or share it on your anniversary. Fuck it, who cares? They can see where the other 200 pounds came from.
yeah, right. exactly. So, but yeah, I had hit my 100 pounds in 6 months. So
Dude,
the
what an
goal,
incredible goal. Yeah.
when you have a goal big enough,
Mm,
it doesn't matter what. When you have something so big that you're focused on, it doesn't matter what gets in your way. It doesn't matter. You go under it, through it, over it, around it, blow it up, drive a bus through it. I don't care
mm,
what you got to do to get to that goal. You have to, you mentioned it earlier, like you have to be emotionally attached to that goal.
mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I would say what I've sort of come to fruition in is that like what you said is having something emotionally enough or value it enough emotionally that it becomes the driver no matter what. Where you either do or you don't do something because of the value or that emotional value and the driver that is inside of you or that makes you want to do it or not do it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's super important. And the other thing that I think is super important that you mentioned in the story was breaking it up in chunks. So even not being upset that like, okay, maybe I'm up 2 pounds, but the goal is 100 pounds in 6 months. So I have to continue on my journey. I have to continue doing the right thing. The things that I know are successful, even if a day or two may slip or a day or two may not be what I see in front of me or, things didn't go my way. It's based on the longevity of where I'm going, right? Because I think for me, I know personally for me, I want it now. I want it tomorrow. I want it yesterday, and I should have had it 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I don't hit it or when I don't get it, it throws me into a poor me mentality. I feel bad for myself, and then looking back at it throughout my entire life, I've had spurts of that. However, they're getting shorter and shorter. So I've
Yeah.
realized that they become shorter and shorter, and I get back into it. Like, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. Go get it. You
Yeah.
still, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Go crush.
And I
Um,
so that like what I refer to it as think of it as a spiral. It's a spiral, right?
mm,
So you're either this is my philosophy is you're either every day you're spiraling down. Okay. So if it's weight loss, for example, you're either spiraling down or you're spiraling up. Now, if
mm,
you're spiraling up, that means you're succeeding, right?
mm,
So every day, even if, like, for example, in my case, even if I gain weight, if I'm doing all the right things, I'm spiraling up.
mm,
Now, if I let that affect my attitude and my mindset, then what's going to happen is if, for example, if I have a bad meal, then the bad meal isn't really what screws the day up. It's my mindset that screws the day up. And then if I let one day get screwed up, then it screws up. Then I let my mindset screw up my week and I give up on the week and then I give up on the month. And so now you're spiraling down.
right.
That's
Downward spiral. Yep.
whereas if I say, okay, I screwed up, let's say I eat something bad, but then I get to the gym maybe as fast as possible, or I read something positive, put something positive in my head, reset the next day, and then go to the gym or start, eating the way it's supposed to be, then now I start to spiral up. So, and that's true with any type of as we talked earlier about any type of addiction, if you will, the steps of you're spiraling down or you're spiraling up. There's no like middle.
Standing still. Right. There's no standing still.
There is no stagnant with
Yeah.
addiction. You're either moving your way in the right direction or
Yeah.
you're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. And again, it's being conscious of that. And then how quickly can you get back on it? Right.
Yep.
Before, yeah, it's so important. And so what about now? So, what do you like? Do you have a morning routine, nighttime routine? How do you continue staying on that mindset of, moving towards a goal and spiraling, like having an upward spiral?
Uh, creating communities of people. One, my brother and I think I mentioned, we meet up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Mm.
go to the gym. We meet up at 6 a.m. I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning. Don't want to get up at 5. I mean, those are days I don't have to be in my business
Right.
until. Why do I want to get up at 5:30? That's because that's the best time for us to meet up and work out. So having that partner that's right there with me working out because he has his own goals. I have my own goals. And then we also have our workouts that we do at our business. Our fit camp, for example, Misty, one of our coaches, leads the fit camp. I love when we can get people together to have fun because then it doesn't seem like you're working out. It just seems like you're having fun, moving, getting the body moving, and so forth. I walk with my wife every chance I can. We love one of our favorite things to do. Typically, we'll do it every Sunday. We'll walk 3 miles and we'll pick a different trail in the area.
That's
Uh,
cool.
there's so many trails where we live that like we can pick a trail, like there's a trail called Lehigh Trail.
Mhm.
You literally can break that trail up into a whole month, maybe more than a month of walking out a mile and a half and turn around and walking back. We have fun, like we'll set our watches and it gives us something fun to do as a couple. And I encourage another thing, couples to do is go for walks, go
Yeah.
out into nature and just go for walks and carry on a conversation, laugh, joke about stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something that we do on Sundays, do our fit camp on Saturdays. Friday night, I usually will hit the gym for a little bit. That one's usually the only time I'll do it by myself. And I always question, do I need to do it? There's nobody to be accountable to, but that's my chance to really test myself once a week because nobody else is going to know. Does that
Right.
make
Yeah. It makes total sense.
uh,
Total sense.
and typically, so Thursday is usually a rest day for me, and all the other days I'm at least doing at least one workout a day. Uh, so yeah,
That's good. Yeah. It makes total sense because similar to me in the ice bath.
yeah,
Right. So it like for me, it's like,
that's
nobody.
probably why you record it. I mean,
Yeah, I do. And then certain times it's weird because in my head I battle with it. I'm like, do I record this? Do I put it on social? Do I not? Like there's always that like, am I putting too much out there? Like, do I have to? And sometimes it's sometimes I do it like it's for me, right? Like there was I remember a New Year's post where I did talk about ice baths in terms of like what do you want to do? Like reflective on what we say we want to do in the beginning of the new year and then staying on that mindset or figuring out a way to stay like keep that conscious throughout the year. And then the following post was like not the ice bath post because I was
yeah,
talking about, but it was for me. So, but I
right.
get what you're saying in terms of like no one's checking on you to do it. Like it's your own internal reasoning or your own internal being to say, you know what? No, you keep going because you know that's for you. Like
That's
it's
the
for you.
and that's I think it's a weekly test, for myself, like because now it tests how I talk to myself, right? Because I could very easily talk myself out of it, or I could talk myself into it.
Cool.
So I know, for example, on Friday, if I don't take my shirt, because I wear, one shirt from when I'm running my business and a different shirt from when I work out, it's a test. It's just another test. If I take the t-shirt, then I know
You
I can go straight from my business straight to the gym.
you're
If
going to work out.
I go home and then I'm like, well, I'll get something to eat and then I'll go to the gym. And then I'll eat and then I'm like, oh, I'm tired.
I
I've been
go to the gym. Right.
5:15 in the morning. I'm just gonna crash.
Yeah.
I deserve it.
Yeah.
Bull crap.
Yeah.
I won't say the other word, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. It is. It is. And that's the battle. That's the battle of being able to just do those things. And then I also feel like if if you don't, okay, like you said, all right, that's fine. You decided not to. What are you going to do tomorrow? Like it's to make sure that you get on that upward spiral, on that positivity thing. That's like it's going to benefit you more often than not doing it. So as long as you keep on that, I think, like you said, it compounds over time, and you get to a place that you want to get to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, and then the other thing I picked up was support, right? So you mentioned your brother. I think support is huge. I think people can do it on themselves. There's certain things that people can get to, with themselves, but I think it becomes easier when you find someone to help you or a group to help you. And I think your brother is that for you, right? And to a certain extent, when it comes to the additional working out, having somebody there for you, and then what you do for people in terms of these groups, and even having the nutritional good vibes nutrition, I think equals that as well. It's like a supportive group that people can turn to.
Absolutely. Because, when you're in an environment, or, I mean, in my case, it is our business where I can talk to people every day. I'm certainly not perfect. I still struggle with food. I still, nowadays, occasionally I'll eat something I'm not supposed to eat, but I don't beat myself up as mentally about it as I used to. Like you were saying a little bit ago, like I can snap out of it pretty quickly now. I can recognize, I don't even have to look at the scale to know where my body is as far as how it feels and
Right.
weight and things like that. But the fact that I have an opportunity where every day I get to talk to people about what their goals are, what my goals are, my experiences, their experiences, and get in group settings where people are getting inspired and thanking you for, even providing an environment or even having your own journey. Like Misty, one of our coaches, she's lost 100 pounds also, and she's a huge inspiration for, you know, in our group, our community workouts. There's a lot of women. Okay, there's probably 90% are women. I don't know why. Guys maybe have egos and they feel like they can't work out with women, but
Mhm.
I have zero ego. I have nothing. I have no zero ego. I don't know
I've
how.
I've done I've done Zumba, bro. I've done Zumba with
Yeah,
Patty. Dance classes and stuff like
yeah.
that. I don't care.
So, but to see the ladies that show up because of Misty, and her workouts and what she's done to inspire this group, is pretty incredible. I've seen tears, people crying because they're so inspired, whether it's their journey or they're struggling. Maybe they're struggling with something else. Maybe something's going on at home. Maybe something's going on at their job. Something's going on with their spiritual life. Something's going on with depression or something like that. But um, yeah, just creating the communities of people to support. We were never created um, as people to be completely independent.
That's
We're
right.
created to be interdependent. In other words, I'm more than capable of being dependent, but me and you working together, that makes us interdependent.
That's
It
right.
doesn't make us weak. It doesn't make us any less than. It doesn't make us not worthy. It's the opposite. I'm worthy enough to have a friend like Wilson
Hmm.
that you and I can converse about health, a mental attitude, things like that. So, creating communities, I tell people all the time in our groups, don't wait for me to tell you that you should go create a group. Just say, hey, I'm going to walk the Flagler Bridge on this date, and who wants to join me?
Yeah, that's right.
You got your own little group. You can inspire your own little community. Everybody should do that. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I feel so. I guess this because we're running out of time again, even though like it's incredible, right? Just talking to Ish, man. It's always a great podcast when you talk about life and things like that. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, oh, we got only a few minutes left.
What's funny, Wilson, is
But
we've been talking about doing something like this for probably over a year now.
yeah,
And what's awesome is I knew there was no way we were going to be able to talk for a short period of time.
Yeah, right. There's
Which,
definitely going to be more episodes to come.
yeah, which is awesome. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. So here's the concept, I guess the macro picture for listeners, and I feel like this is exactly what most people are either seeking, either lacking, or they already have and they know it. It's that support group, like that community group of understanding, like I don't have to do it by myself. Like and everyone out here, most of people out here, like it doesn't even matter where you fall within the demographic. When you boil it down, we're looking for only a couple of things, and that's to feel loved, to feel included, and to feel like you're part of something. And I feel like if you look at all on a macro level, like obviously church is a community, sports teams are a community, BNI or business membership, those are communities. So like you can see them on a macro level that we as like the human being or the species enjoy these communities. And so for people that may be dealing with it or don't have something like that, or that they haven't found their own community, I like your message about you can have and start your own community based on the things that you may like or are interested in, and I would say as long as they're positive, right? As long as there's some sort of positivity to it. But again, that can go on all different spectrums, even on the negative things based on how I'm perceiving things. Like there are communities for that, right? Like people getting together and sharing similar beliefs and then coming together for similar goals. So I think that's important. So for anybody that is listening, if you don't have something like that and you may need something like that, I would take your advice, Michael, is either start one or look for one to join, to have that support. And I think that's where you can provide, or like you can share what you're going through, and other people can then, kind of like what we're doing now, is sharing our perspectives and getting something from it that at some point will click with something that you can use to move forward for that upward spiral. It's an incredible thing. It's amazing. All right, Michael. So look, before we leave, let me ask you last couple questions. Do you have like a nighttime or a bedtime routine or something, like when you work on the mentals part of it in terms of getting yourself pumped up or going? Like how do you talk to yourself mentally? Do you have a morning routine? Do you have a nighttime routine? And if so, how do you do that?
yeah, I mean, all the basics, for myself. I mean, my body is at a point in my life where I pretty much wake up automatically. I mean, I set my alarm, but my body automatically wakes up at 5:15 in the morning. But
Gotcha.
do all the basics, make your bed, brush teeth, all that good stuff. But when I when you, for example, when you make your bed, as an example, um, you start off your day with success, right? You brush your teeth, you start off your day with success. You take your shower, you got a lot of successes built up, and so it's very important, I think, to have that routine and get those things out of the way. Now, one of the things that I do is I create my own quotes, if you will. I spend a lot of time on Chat GPT. I spend
Yeah.
a lot of time reading other people's quotes, and I try to formulate the words to create those quotes. So, for example, if you go to my Instagram, I'm kind of obsessive compulsive about my Instagram and the way it flows.
Awesome.
And I think you've seen it before, but so all my quotes are 6 words and they have to flow with each other. Some of them are probably quotes you've heard before, but most of them are actually quotes I've created. And well, and I guess nowadays I can't say I created them because ChatGPT created them. But
No,
um,
you put the input, right? So
yeah,
like, yeah, let's give you credit for the input for sure.
a lot of those quotes, and I look at where I'm at mentally, and like kind of figure out, okay, I need to feed myself a quote. So what quote am I looking for? So I'll put in a couple words, and then man, boom, it something just hits me. That's the quote. That's the quote I'm going to put on there. So I as far as books go, The Power of Now is one of my favorite books.
Oh, love that.
Yeah,
That changed my life, man.
yeah, absolutely. I
Changed
mean,
my life.
I should read that book. Like, if you want to embrace life to the fullest, I find myself now, as opposed to where I was before, when I'm with other people, I am like, I fixate my eyes on their eyes and their mouths when they're talking and listening to every word. And sometimes I wonder if people think I'm weird because like I'll lean into what they're saying because I want them to know that
I'm here right
I'm
now.
every
Yeah.
single word you're saying,
Uh,
and nothing's going to get past me what you're saying. So that has really been a game changer for me. I mean, when I was younger, Think and Grow Rich is an absolutely powerful book. I highly recommend, for example, if you do read Think and Grow Rich, if you read the old version, it can get a little wordy as far as the old school,
yeah.
early 19.
Vocabulary. Yeah.
But they do make modern versions, so I've read them both. Very good books. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Love that one.
I've read that book at least 5 times. Amazing, amazing information. I really feel like my people skills were honed in my early 20s and I got promotions at jobs and so forth because of that book. So I highly recommend that. But take time, journal. I won't say I journal every single day, but I have several books that I write thoughts down in and ideas and things that I want to constant goals, writing down constant things I'd like to accomplish. So it's I won't say it's the smoothest, most disciplined daily routine, but I know one of my favorite spots to work at now is in my office here now with the background.
Yeah.
That's not computer generated. That's actually uh, I got it on Amazon. You put it on your wall. You've been to my club, so
Yeah.
I have one at my club. But I love the tropics, so I always want to feel like I'm in the tropics. And so, mentally, I put myself in this room, which used to be one of my boys' room before they moved out. But put myself in this room, it gets me a good state of mind. I'm able to get my work done when I'm at home, and but my workout schedule is a pretty consistent schedule. It's all over the place as far as the day of the week, but it is a consistent schedule. So, but yeah, daily routines are very important. I find at least for me, as I get older, I like that. I like knowing this is what I'm going to do this week. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. My wife's the same way. I think you can get more done when you have some type of a steady routine. Even though the workout time may change from day to day. Mondays are always the same, 6 a.m. You
Right.
know, Sundays is always the same, about 3:30 in the afternoon. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think having some sort of routine and structure definitely helps. Even if it's not so structured and not so routine, but something that you go back to. And journaling is actually one of the things that I'm going to be working on, like, being more consistent because I think it's important. Now, for me, right, and I feel like, and we'll leave off with this because we have less than a minute here. But I think there's a plethora of things for people to tap into to figure out if that's what they like, enjoy, and if that helps them emotionally charge themselves to then be connected to the thing that's going to help drive them move forward. So
yes,
for you, for anybody that's listening, do that, be open to it. Good people, good vibes, good nutrition. And we'll see you guys again on the next one. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Peace.